actually made it through registration and have my badge, and we're good to go for the day. Now the big question is, what in the heck do I see and where in the heck do I start? So I get out of registration, and what's one of the first big buses and tents that I see? Yes, the big Gibson bus. Let's start there. So I didn't exactly hope to find anything about e-learning in the Gibson tent, but much to my surprise, I found this new line of microphones. These are the B microphones, very, very cool little microphones that are not that expensive, along the same lines as the Yeti and a little bit pricier. But then there's also these little $100 widget microphones that are very, very cute, very cool, and actually the quality is quite amazing. You should definitely check them out. I'm in the kids, family, and educational technology area of CES, and despite the fact that we mostly look into corporate training technologies, you'd be amazed at how many cool ideas you can get from some of this educational stuff.
In the air. See, Edwin has practiced.
And of course, what would CES be without educational games like Legos? One of the trends I find fascinating is the idea of physical computing and how we as corporate training professionals might at some point start creating physical objects as part of our training solutions. Maybe like these blocks, or like the Lego blocks, or like that duck I was throwing up in the air. So some people might think that the classroom is dead, but I think technologies like this might actually bring it back to life. And seriously, this giant interactive glass wall was very cool.
Let's say this is my home right here, and I want to see what's going on the second floor. This is the layout of the second floor of my home, and I want to see what's going on in my son's room. And there it is.
The home technology section of CES is huge this year. And you might be saying, well, why are you hanging out in the home tech area? And I kind of asked myself the same question, but one of the things that strikes me as being the most impressive is that all of the products are so cheap, and all of the companies that enable the really cool home technologies to get developed, it just got me thinking that it can't be that far off before the same technologies are so cheap that instructional designers are starting to create more physical e-learning experiences and learning experiences, and not so much focused on just the software authoring that we do now. And of course, micro-learning is a popular topic these days, but at CES, it's all about micro cameras and micro video cameras, and how we create content using very, very small devices like this Canon Vixia Mini X. And speaking of micro cameras, it seems like every camera manufacturer had some sort of micro or wearable camera available. And in the camera realm, something that took me completely by surprise was how popular 360-degree photography is going to be. Not to mention 360-degree video is going to be incredibly popular when you can see and navigate through 360 degrees of 4K imagery. In case you were wondering, simulations are alive and well and looking really, really fabulous at CES. Simulations come in all different shapes and sizes.
All the way down and never lose visual of what's going on out there.
Okay, here we go.
I'm a big fan of virtual reality, and CES was full of VR, but Intel had one being driven off a mobile device.
This is what our CEO refers to as the sensification of compute. One of those experiences is a virtual reality experience.
And what is also amazing is that as he reaches his hand out, you'll see that it is actually represented with this point cloud data, and he can actually interact with the objects in the video game on a smartphone, which has never been done before in one actual device. Yeah, so what makes this phone so special is that, as you can see right here, there's an array of cameras in the back. These cameras give us the ability to have 6 degrees of freedom, meaning that when I walk forward in the real world and when I walk back, it is represented in the actual game experience.
All right, this takes virtual reality to a whole new level. And yes, you do actually sit inside that thing. And I finally found the 3D printing section. Let's take a look.
CES was filled with 3D printing. I'm still trying to figure out a use for it in corporate training, but the technology has come a long way. And guess what? Now it's got lasers.
What you're seeing here is the laser. So it's actually a UV laser, and the resin in here is a UV curing resin. So wherever the laser hits, it's turning the liquid into a solid.
All right, so I can't remember who asked me on my last Periscope to bring in some augmented reality, but here it is. Here's some hardware for augmented reality. Check this out. This gives you a monitor. You can get some training, some instruction on the monitor here. This camera over here goes to a central location where somebody else, maybe an instructor or a subject matter expert, could be watching exactly what you're doing and then sending instructions or images to this camera here. It's very, very cool. The commercial version isn't coming out till the end of the year, but this is looking really good. This is the kind of stuff that we like to see coming out, helping the corporate training industry.
Sensors are everywhere. They are in everything. After all, we've got to get this big data from somewhere, so it seems like there's sensors in all sorts of sporting equipment, in home automation, just about everywhere you can possibly think. And with those sensors, we need dashboards. And so user interfaces are important, and there's dashboards for everything from baseball bats to basketballs and everything in between. One of the coolest new areas was the Eureka Park for startups. Now, trust me, there was some weird stuff in the park, but there was also some really cool stuff. Musical items.
If you do the same movement, it won't change. It depends on the speed of your moves, and if you do small moves or bigger moves.
There was some strange things like really advanced, fancy selfie sticks, and there was this little Volkswagen bus that played on a record player. It was this world's smallest record player, they said. But then there were also some very cool things like the broadcasting in a box. That was very cool, and I think something that training professionals should definitely take a look at.